The crumpled $100 bill landed on Marcus Webb's mop bucket with a wet slap. He looked up from the dirty water. 8 years old. Maybe 9. The boy stood in the empty hallway of St. Catherine's Academy, small hands clutching 4 more bills. His school uniform was perfect. His shoes cost more than Marcus made in a week. But his eyes. Those eyes had seen the same thing Marcus saw in the mirror every morning. Nothing. Here's $100, the boy said. His voice didn't shake. He'd practiced this. Will you come to my birthday party? Marcus squeezed the mop handle. Water dripped onto expensive marble floors he'd been cleaning for 6 months. The hallway smelled like bleach and old books. Somewhere behind him, a clock ticked toward 4 p.m. Kid, I'm the janitor. I don't. 500 total. The boy stepped closer. He was thin. Too thin for someone who probably had a private chef. I know that's not a lot for you rich people, but it's everything I have. Rich people. Marcus almost laughed. His apartment was 300 square feet. He ate ramen 4 nights a week. The watch on his wrist stopped working 2 years ago, but he kept wearing it because it was the last gift his daughter. Don't think about her. I'm not rich, Marcus said quietly. Then take the money. The boy thrust the bills forward. They were organized by denomination. 50s on top, 20s underneath, all facing the same direction. Someone had taught him to be precise. Saturday, 2 p.m. There'll be cake. Games. Whatever you want. Where are your friends? The question hung between them. Marcus watched something flicker across the boy's face. Not sadness. Sadness was too simple. This was the kind of empty that comes from learning the truth too young. I don't have friends. 4 words. Flat. Factual. Marcus had heard those same words in a different voice 3 years ago. He'd been standing in a hospital corridor, and a doctor was telling him his daughter didn't make it, and he'd responded with 4 words just like that. I don't have anything. He should say no. Walk away. This wasn't his problem. He'd learned to stay invisible. Invisible people don't feel things. Don't lose things. What's your name? Marcus heard himself ask. Vincent. Your parents know you're offering money to strangers? Something darker crossed Vincent's face. My father won't notice. He never does. The clock ticked. Students' voices echoed from somewhere far away. Marcus looked at the money in Vincent's hands. $500. Enough to fix his car. Buy decent food. Maybe save something. But that wasn't why he was considering it. Just come, Vincent whispered. Please. I'll stay out of your way. You don't even have to talk to me. Just be there. So it's not just, his voice cracked. So it's not just me. Marcus thought about his daughter's 7th birthday. The last one. She'd made him wear a paper crown. Called him King Daddy. Made him dance to songs he hated. He'd complained about the noise, the mess, the chaos. He'd give anything to complain about it again. Keep your money, Marcus said. Vincent's face fell. He started to turn away. I'll come. The boy froze. Turned back slowly. Really? Really? But I'm not taking your money, Vincent. You don't pay people to care about you. Then why? Because somebody should show up for you. Marcus picked up his mop. His hands were shaking. What time did you say? 2 o'clock. Saturday. I'll text you the address. Vincent pulled out a phone that cost more than Marcus's monthly rent. What's your number? Marcus recited it. Vincent's fingers flew across the screen. A moment later, Marcus's ancient flip phone buzzed in his pocket. I sent it, Vincent said. He still held the money. Still looked like he couldn't believe this was happening. You promise you'll come? I promise. Vincent smiled. It was small. Uncertain. Like he'd forgotten how. Thank you, Mr. Webb. Marcus hadn't told him his last name. The boy had looked him up. Researched him. Planned this whole approach. That kind of calculation didn't come naturally to children. It came from survival. Just Marcus is fine. Vincent nodded and walked away. His footsteps echoed on marble floors. Marcus watched him disappear around the corner, then looked down at his reflection in the dirty mop water. What the hell had he just agreed to? His phone buzzed again. He pulled it out. The address Vincent sent wasn't in this neighborhood. It was on the north side. The expensive side. The side where people had security systems and gates and lives that didn't include bullet holes and funeral bills. Marcus saved the address and went back to mopping. He didn't know it yet, but he'd just made a promise to the loneliest child in the city. And in 6 days, that promise would force him to choose between revenge and redemption. The clock on the wall ticked forward. The hallway smelled like bleach. Marcus squeezed the mop handle and tried not to think about birthday candles, paper crowns, or the sound of a little girl's laugh he'd never hear again. But Vincent's eyes stayed with him. Those empty, desperate, 8-year-old eyes that had looked at him and seen something worth $500. Worth showing up. Worth being real. For the first time in 3 years, Marcus Webb felt something other than the weight of water on dirty floors. He felt needed. And that terrified him more than anything. Marcus hadn't opened his daughter's bedroom in 1,247 days. He knew the exact number because he counted. Every morning. Every night. The way some people count calories or prayers, Marcus counted the days since Emma stopped existing. But Saturday morning, standing in his apartment with Vincent's address on his phone, he opened the door. The room smelled like dust and old memories. Pink walls. Stuffed animals on a bed nobody slept in. Art projects still stuck to the wall with tape that had started to yellow. A paper crown sat on her desk, the one she'd made him wear at her last birthday. King Daddy. His chest tightened. He couldn't breathe right. This was a mistake. Coming here was a mistake. Promising Vincent was a mistake. He should text the kid. Make an excuse. Disappear back into the safe numbness he'd built around himself like armor. But Emma's voice echoed in his memory. Daddy, when people are sad, you help them. That's what teachers do. She'd been 6. Too young to understand that teachers couldn't fix everything. That sometimes the world took things and never gave them back. Marcus picked up the paper crown, sat on Emma's bed, and for the first time in 1,247 days, he let himself remember. 3 years ago, he'd been Mr. Webb. 10th grade English teacher at Jefferson High. Not the best teacher. Not the worst. But he cared. He showed up. He learned his students' names, their stories, their dreams. Then came the shooting. Not at school. At a bodega 3 blocks from his apartment. Emma wanted ice cream. Marcus was grading papers. He told her to go with her mother. 10 minutes. In and out. Except there was a man in a black car. And another man who owed money. And bullets that don't care about ice cream or little girls or fathers grading papers 3 blocks away. Emma died on the sidewalk. Her mother held her. Marcus got there in time to see his daughter's eyes go empty. 7 years old. Gone. The investigation went nowhere. Gang violence. Wrong place, wrong time. The shooter was never identified. The case went cold after 6 weeks. Marcus buried his daughter. Then he buried his marriage. Then he buried himself. He couldn't teach anymore. Couldn't stand in front of students and pretend words mattered when his daughter's last word had been Daddy through a phone call he'd ignored because he was grading a quiz about metaphors. So he became invisible. Took the janitor job. Moved to a smaller apartment. Stopped having friends, ambitions, future tense. Just water, bleach, and dirty floors that would be dirty again tomorrow. Until a boy with $500 and empty eyes asked him to show up. Marcus's phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. You still coming? Vincent. Checking. Afraid. Marcus looked at Emma's crown. At her drawings. At the life he'd locked away because remembering hurt too much. Yeah, he texted back. On my way. He set the crown back on the desk. Closed the door. But this time, he didn't lock it. The address led him to a neighborhood where houses had names instead of numbers. Iron gates. Circular driveways. Lawns maintained by people who didn't live there. The biggest house on the block had a sign, Russo Estate. Marcus's stomach dropped. He'd heard that name. Seen it in newspapers. Russo Construction. Russo Development. The kind of businesses that won every city contract despite always being underbid. The kind of family that threw charity galas while rumors swirled about what really happened to their competitors. Vincent was a Russo. Marcus sat in his car at the end of the driveway. He should leave. This wasn't his world. These weren't his people. He was a janitor showing up at a mansion because a lonely kid asked nicely. But then he saw Vincent. The boy stood at a window on the second floor, looking out. Waiting. Marcus thought about Emma at windows. Always watching for him. Always trusting he'd come home. He got out of the car. The front door opened before he knocked. A man in a suit stood there. Not a butler. His jacket bulged wrong. Security. Name? Marcus Webb. Vincent invited me. The man spoke into a wrist Mike waited. Nodded. Go ahead. Inside, the house was bigger than Marcus's entire apartment building. Marble floors. Crystal chandeliers. Art that cost more than he'd made in his entire teaching career. And no decorations. No balloons. No streamers. No sign that a child's birthday was happening here. Marcus. Vincent appeared at the top of a curved staircase. He wore jeans and a t-shirt, normal kid clothes, but they looked new. Unworn. Like he'd bought them just for today. You came, Vincent said, running down. He stopped a few feet away, suddenly uncertain. Like he'd forgotten how to be a regular kid greeting a guest. I promised, Marcus said. Vincent's smile was fragile. Hopeful. I have the game room set up. And pizza's coming. And he paused. It's just us. Is that okay? Just us. No other kids. No family. Just a janitor and a boy in a house too big for either of them. That's okay, Marcus said. Vincent led him through hallways lined with expensive emptiness. Past rooms nobody used. Past photos of people who looked like they'd never smiled. Past a portrait of a woman with Vincent's eyes frozen in oil paint. Forever beautiful, forever gone. That's my mom, Vincent said quietly. She died when I was 3. Marcus stopped. Looked at the painting. At those same eyes he'd seen in the hallway. I'm sorry. Everyone says that. But you mean it. How do you know? Vincent turned to him. Because you have the same look. Like someone took something from you and never gave it back. 8 years old. And he already understood loss better than most adults. Marcus thought about lying. About saying something comforting and meaningless. But those eyes deserved truth. My daughter, Marcus said. 3 years ago. She was 7. Vincent nodded slowly. Like he'd suspected. Like he'd recognized the wound because he carried the same one. That's why you said yes, Vincent said. Not because of the money. Yeah. They stood in the hallway. 2 people who'd lost everything. 2 people who'd learned to survive by disappearing. Come on, Vincent said. I'll show you the game room. He led Marcus up another staircase. Through another hallway. To a room filled with every toy, game, and entertainment system money could buy. All of it untouched. Still in boxes. Like decorations in a showroom nobody lived in. My father bought all this, Vincent said. Said I should have friends over. But I don't have friends. So it just sits here. Marcus looked at the lonely museum of unused childhood. At the boy standing in the middle of it, small and lost. Want to play chess? Marcus asked. Vincent blinked. You play chess? Used to teach it. After school program. For the first time, Vincent's smile reached his eyes. Nobody ever wants to play with me. They say it's boring. Then they're playing it wrong. Marcus grabbed a chess set, expensive, carved wood, probably cost thousands. Come on. I'll show you. They set up the board. Started playing. Vincent was good. Really good. He'd been studying. My mom taught me, Vincent said, moving a pawn. Before she died. It's the only thing I remember about her. Her hands showing me how the pieces move. Marcus captured the pawn. Then she was a good teacher. They played in silence. Outside, the sun moved across expensive windows. Pizza arrived. They ate. Played more. Talked about nothing and everything. Vincent told him about school. About being the kid nobody sits with. About having everything except what mattered. Marcus told him about teaching. About loving it. About losing it. Why'd you stop? Vincent asked. Because I couldn't look at other people's kids without seeing mine. But you're looking at me. Marcus met his eyes. Yeah, I am. Why? Because you asked me to show up. And I'm tired of being invisible. Vincent nodded. Moved his queen. Checkmate. Marcus looked down at the board. The kid had set a trap 5 moves ago, and he'd walked right into it. You hustled me, Marcus said. Vincent's smile was real now. You weren't paying attention. I was paying attention to the wrong thing. They reset the board. Played again. And again. At 6 p.m., a door opened downstairs. Heavy footsteps. A voice that commanded without shouting, Vincent. The boy's whole body went rigid. My father, he whispered. Marcus stood. I should go. No. Vincent grabbed his arm. Please. Just meet him. Just once. Then you can leave. Footsteps climbed the stairs. Got closer. A man appeared in the doorway. 50. Maybe 55. Expensive suit. Expensive watch. Eyes that calculated everything and gave nothing. Dominic Russo. Who's this? Russo asked, looking at Marcus like he was an unexpected stain on his floor. This is Marcus, Vincent said quickly. He paused. Looked at Marcus. He's my friend. Russo's eyes narrowed. From school? No, Vincent said. Then where? Marcus stepped forward. I work at St. Catherine's. I'm the janitor. Vincent invited me to his birthday. Silence. Russo studied him. Calculating. Pricing. Deciding if he was a threat or an amusement. The janitor, Russo finally said. My son paid you to come to his birthday. No, sir. He offered. I declined. I came because I wanted to. Why? Because he asked. Russo looked at Vincent. Something passed between them, too quick to read, too deep to fake. Then Russo turned back to Marcus. You have a background? Clean record. Family? No. Employment history? 10 years teaching. 6 months custodial. Russo processed this. Nodded slowly. Vincent seems to like you. I like him too. That's rare. People usually want something. I'm not people. Russo almost smiled. Almost. No. I suppose you're not. He looked at Vincent. I need to make some calls. Happy birthday. He left. Just like that. No present. No cake. No real acknowledgement that his son existed. Vincent's shoulders sagged. The light in his eyes dimmed. Hey, Marcus said softly. Vincent looked up. Want to order more pizza and crush me at chess again? The light came back. Small. Fragile. But there. Yeah, Vincent said. Yeah, I do. They played until 10 p.m. Marcus taught him new openings. Vincent taught him about being strong when everything inside you wants to break. When Marcus finally left, Vincent walked him to the door. Can you come back? The boy asked. Marcus thought about Emma. About invisible armor. About promising things he wasn't sure he could keep. But he looked at Vincent's eyes and knew he'd already made the choice. Yeah, Marcus said. I can come back. Vincent hugged him. Quick. Unexpected. Desperate. Marcus hugged back. And for the first time in 1,247 days, he felt like maybe, just maybe, there was a reason to stop counting. Marcus came back on Tuesday. Then Thursday. Then every day after school. He told himself it was temporary. That he was just helping a lonely kid. That it didn't mean anything. But Vincent met him at the gate every day with a chess problem. Or a question about books. Or just silence that felt less empty when they shared it. And Marcus started feeling dangerous. He started feeling human. Week 3, Russo's security guard stopped him at the door. Mr. Russo wants to see you. Marcus's stomach tightened. Why? Didn't say. Follow me. The guard led him through the house, not upstairs to Vincent's room, but down a hallway Marcus hadn't seen before. Past doors that stayed closed. Past artwork that cost more than lives. To an office that smelled like leather, smoke, and power. Dominic Russo sat behind a desk made from wood that was probably extinct. Behind him, windows overlooked the city. From here, you could see everything. Control everything. Own everything. Sit, Russo said. Marcus sat. Russo watched him. The same calculating look from before, but sharper. More focused. My son talks about you constantly. He's a good kid. He's never had someone who wasn't paid to care about him. I'm not paid. That's what concerns me. Russo leaned forward. What do you want? Nothing. Everyone wants something. I'm not everyone. Russo studied him. No, You're not. He pulled out a file. Set it on the desk. Marcus Webb. Age 38. Former teacher at Jefferson High School. Resigned 3 years ago. Current employment, custodial staff at St. Catherine's Academy. Annual income, $32,000. Residence, apartment 4C on Maple Street. 300 square feet. Marcus's blood went cold. You investigated me. Of course I investigated you. You're spending time with my son. Russo flipped through the file. But here's what's interesting. You're clean. No arrests. No debts. No vices. You're just broken. The word hung there. Accurate. Ugly. Daughter. Emma Webb. Killed in a shooting 3 years ago. Bodega on Cortlandt Avenue. You weren't there. You were grading papers. Your wife blamed you. Divorce finalized 8 months later. You blamed yourself more. Lost your job. Lost your life. Became invisible. Marcus's hands shook. If you know all this, why am I here? Because I want to know why you said yes to Vincent. I told you. He asked. Men don't rearrange their lives for children who aren't theirs without a reason. Marcus met his eyes. Maybe I just wanted to be someone who shows up. Russo sat back. Considered this. My son's mother died when he was 3. Car accident. He doesn't remember her. Except for chess. She taught him chess. He told me. Did he tell you she was murdered? The air left Marcus's lungs. Car accident was the story, Russo continued. Truth is, someone cut her brakes. Sent her off a bridge. A message for me. Jesus. I found the person responsible. Made sure they couldn't send messages anymore. Russo's voice was flat. Empty. But Vincent still doesn't have a mother. And I'm not father of the year. So when you showed up and he smiled for the first time in 5 years, I had to know why. Marcus tried to process this. You're telling me people target your family? Yes. And you let me get close to your son anyway. You're not a threat. My men cleared you. Then what is this meeting? Russo closed the file. A warning. Vincent trusts you. That makes you valuable. And in my world, valuable things get used as leverage. So if you're going to keep showing up, you need to understand what world you're entering. What world is that? Russo smiled. It wasn't warm. The kind where people don't ask questions they don't want answered. They stared at each other. Marcus should walk away. Right now. Never come back. But Vincent was upstairs. Waiting. Trusting. I'm not going anywhere, Marcus said. That's what concerns me. Russo stood. My head of security will give you a phone. New number. Encrypted. If you're going to be around my son, I need to be able to reach you. And you don't tell anyone about this family. Not friends. Not coworkers. No one. I don't have friends. Good. Let's keep it that way. Russo walked to the door. Paused. Vincent's birthday. You were the only person who showed up who wasn't paid to be there. You know what that makes you. What? Irreplaceable. Don't make me regret it. He left. Marcus sat alone in the office. Looked out at the city. At all the places Russo controlled from this window. What the hell had he gotten into? That night, Marcus researched. Russo Construction. Russo Development. Russo Holdings. Legitimate businesses with consistently suspicious profits. City contracts nobody could explain. Competitors who withdrew bids or disappeared entirely. News articles that asked questions without answers. And underneath it all, rumors. Whispers. The kind of stories that never made it to court because witnesses stopped testifying. Dominic Russo wasn't just wealthy. He was dangerous. And Marcus was spending every day with his son. Friday, Vincent cornered him. What did my father say to you? They were in the game room. Marcus had been distracted all day. Vincent noticed everything. Nothing important. You're lying. Vincent's voice was steady. Adult. Everyone lies when my father talks to them. What did he say? Marcus looked at the boy. 8 years old. Too smart. Too aware. He told me your mother didn't die in an accident. Vincent went very still. What else? That being close to you makes me a target. And you're still here. Yeah. Why? Marcus thought about Emma. About promises. About the only thing worse than feeling nothing. Because you matter, he said simply. Vincent's eyes filled. He didn't cry. Just stared at Marcus like he'd said something in a foreign language. No one's ever said that before. Then they're idiots. Vincent laughed. It was wet. Shaky. Real. My father's not a good person, he said quietly. I don't know everything he does. But I know people are scared of him. I know money appears from nowhere. I know people who make him angry stop existing. You know a lot. I listen. I watch. It's how you survive here. Marcus's chest ached. You shouldn't have to survive. You should just get to be 8. I'm not just 8. I'm Dominic Russo's son. That's not the same thing. No, it wasn't. Did he tell you about the people who might come after me? Vincent asked. Yes. Are you scared? Terrified. But you're staying. Yes. Vincent nodded. Process this. Okay. I'm tired of people leaving when they find out the truth. If you're staying after knowing, then maybe, he stopped. Started again. Maybe you really do care. Marcus pulled him into a hug. Vincent held on tight. I care, Marcus said into the boy's hair. I care so much it scares me. Good, Vincent whispered. I'm tired of people who aren't scared. They stayed like that. 2 broken people holding on because letting go hurt worse. Outside, the sun set over a city Dominic Russo controlled. Inside, Marcus Webb made a choice he couldn't undo. He would protect Vincent. No matter what that meant. No matter what it cost. Even if the father was a monster, the son deserved better. And Marcus was done being invisible. The encrypted phone buzzed at 2 a.m. Marcus grabbed it, heart hammering. Unknown number. Hello. Marcus. Vincent's voice. Small. Scared. What's wrong? I had a nightmare. About my mom. About you leaving. I know it's stupid. It's not stupid. I'm here. Silence. Breathing. Then, can you talk? Just for a minute. Marcus sat up in bed. His apartment was dark. Cold. But Vincent's voice made it feel less empty. Tell me about the nightmare. Everyone I care about disappears. My mom. The nanny I liked. My dog, Dad gave him away when I was 5 because he barked too much. And in the dream, you disappeared too. You just stopped showing up. And I was alone again. Marcus's throat tightened. I'm not going anywhere, Vincent. You promise. I promise. People break promises. I won't. How do you know? Because you remind me why I wanted to be a teacher. Because you make me feel like maybe I deserve a second chance. Because losing you would break me more than I'm already broken. Because you matter to me, Marcus said. And I don't break promises to people who matter. Vincent was quiet for a long time. Then, thank you. For what? For not lying. Everyone else would have said the nightmare wasn't real. But you just promised to stay. The nightmare's not real. But the fear is. And I'm not going to make you face it alone. Okay. Vincent's voice was steadier now. I'm gonna try to sleep. Text me if you need me. Anytime. Even at 2 a.m.? Especially at 2 a.m. Okay. Good night, Marcus. Good night, Vincent. The line went dead. Marcus stared at the phone. At this connection he hadn't asked for. Hadn't wanted. Couldn't imagine losing. He'd been trying to save Vincent. But maybe Vincent was saving him too. The next morning, Russo's security guard handed him a key card. What's this? Access to the estate. Mr. Russo says you can come and go as needed. Don't abuse it. Marcus pocketed the card. Tried not to think about how much trust that represented. Or how much danger. They fell into a routine. Marcus worked his morning shift at the school. Afternoons, he went to the Russo estate. Vincent would be waiting, always with something new to show him, teach him, share with him. They played chess, talked about books, argued about movies. Marcus helped with homework. Vincent taught him about the stock market. They cooked dinner together, something Vincent had never done because the staff always did it. This is burnt, Vincent said, poking at scrambled eggs. That's called character. It's called you can't cook. Neither can you. They ate the burnt eggs anyway. Laughed about it. Made better ones the next time. Small moments. Normal moments. The kind Vincent had never had. The kind Marcus thought he'd never have again. Week 6, Vincent showed him something. I wrote this, he said, handing over a notebook. For English class. but also for you. Marcus read. My friend Marcus used to be a teacher. Then his daughter died and he became invisible. But he came to my birthday anyway because I asked. And now he's teaching me again. Not school stuff. Important stuff. Like how to be brave when you're scared. How to keep going when everything hurts. How to let people matter even when you know they might leave. I think he's teaching me how to be human. I think I'm teaching him too. Marcus's vision blurred. Vincent. Is it okay? The boy looked nervous. I know it's personal. But Mrs. Chen said to write about someone who changed your life. And you did. You changed mine. Marcus pulled him into a hug. Held on tight. It's perfect, he whispered. You're perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm just less alone. Yeah, me too. They stayed like that. In Vincent's bedroom. While sunset painted expensive walls gold. And for the first time in 1,247 days, Marcus thought, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can live again. That's when everything started to fall apart. Carlo, Russo's head of security, appeared in the doorway. Mr. Russo needs to see you. Both of you. Now. Vincent's hand tightened on Marcus's arm. They followed Carlo downstairs. Into the office. Where Russo stood by the window, phone in hand, face carved from stone. We have a problem, he said. What kind of problem? Marcus asked. Russo turned. His eyes were different. Colder. The kind where someone from my world found out about you. And now they're asking questions. Marcus's stomach dropped. What kind of questions? Why Dominic Russo's son has a janitor for a friend. Why I'm letting a stranger into my home. What leverage you might be. I'm not leverage. I'm just. It doesn't matter what you are. It matters what they think you are. Russo looked at Vincent. Son, go to your room. No. Vincent stepped closer to Marcus. If this is about us, I stay. Russo's jaw tightened. But he nodded. Fine. You're old enough to understand. He looked at Marcus. Someone broke into your apartment last night. Went through your things. Left everything exactly as they found it. Professional job. Marcus's blood went cold. How do you know? Because I have cameras on your building. Because I knew this would happen eventually. You've been watching me? I've been protecting you. There's a difference. Russo pulled up photos on his phone. Showed Marcus, his apartment, his things. A man in black searching through drawers, closets, personal belongings. Who is he? Marcus whispered. Competition. Someone who wants to hurt me by finding my weak points. Russo's voice was ice. And my son's new friend is a very interesting weak point. Vincent's hand shook in Marcus's. What do they want? Marcus asked. Information. Leverage. Proof that I'm getting soft. Russo met his eyes. They want to know if you matter. And if you matter, they'll use you. So what do I do? You have two choices. Walk away. Right now. Never come back. I'll make sure you're protected, but you disappear from Vincent's life completely. Marcus looked at Vincent. At those eyes that had finally started to trust. Or you accept that you're part of this now. My people will protect you. Train you. Make sure you can handle yourself if someone comes after you. But you're in. Completely. No going back. What does that mean? Russo smiled. It was sharp. It means you stop being a janitor who happens to know my son. And you become family. The word hung there. Family. Marcus thought about Emma. About the family he'd lost. About the hole it left that nothing had filled. Until Vincent. If I say yes, if I become family, what happens to him? Marcus gestured at Vincent. He gets to keep you. But he also gets to see what that costs. Marcus knelt down. Looked Vincent in the eyes. What do you want? I want you to stay, Vincent said immediately. I don't care what it costs. You might care later. I won't. Everyone leaves. Everyone always leaves. But you promised you'd stay. So stay. Marcus looked at Russo. What's the training? Self-defense. Threat awareness. How to survive in a world where people see you as a target. Russo stepped closer. But understand this. Once you're family, you see everything. You know everything. And you can never walk away from what you know. Are you saying? I'm saying you'll learn exactly what I am. What I do. And you'll have to decide if you can live with it. Marcus stood. His heart hammered. Every instinct screamed to run. But Vincent's hand was in his. And he'd made a promise. Okay, Marcus said. I'm in. Russo nodded. Carlo will start your training tomorrow. 6 a.m. Don't be late. What do I tell people? Nothing. You're a janitor who's friends with a lonely kid. That's all anyone needs to know. Marcus looked at Vincent. At the relief and fear mixing in his eyes. Go do your homework, Marcus said gently. I need to talk to your father. Vincent hesitated, then nodded and left. When the door closed, Marcus turned to Russo. I need to know something. Ask. Are you going to hurt people because of me? Russo considered this. I'm going to protect what's mine. Whether that requires hurting people depends on what they do. That's not an answer. It's the only answer you're going to get. Russo poured 2 drinks. Handed one to Marcus. You want honesty? Here it is. I've killed people. I've ruined people. I've done things that would send me to prison for life. But I've also built hospitals. Funded schools. Kept this city running when everyone else gave up. That doesn't balance out. No, it doesn't. But it's who I am. He sipped his drink. And now you have to decide if you can let your son. He's not my son. Isn't he? Russo met his eyes. He calls you at 2 a.m. when he has nightmares. He writes essays about you. He lights up when you walk into a room. What else is he if not your son? Marcus's chest tightened. Because Russo was right. Somewhere between birthday parties and burnt eggs and chess games, Vincent had become his. Not by blood. Not by law. But by choice. I'll protect him, Marcus said quietly. From everyone. Including you. Russo smiled. Good. That's exactly what I need. Why? Because I can't. I'm too dangerous. Too compromised. But you? You actually care about him. Not about what he represents or what he's worth. Just him. Russo set down his glass. So here's the deal. You keep him human. Keep him good. And I'll make sure nothing touches him. Or you. What if someone tries? Then they learn why people don't cross Dominic Russo. They stared at each other. Understanding forming. Fragile. Dangerous. One more thing, Marcus said. The people who killed my daughter. 3 years ago. Cortlandt Avenue Bodega. Do you know anything about that? Russo's face went carefully blank. Why would I? Because you know everything that happens in this city. Silence. Long heavy. I might have heard something, Russo said finally. Marcus's heart stopped. What? Not tonight. You're not ready. Russo walked to the door. But when you are, when you've proven you can handle the truth, I'll tell you everything. He left. Marcus stood alone in the office. Drink in hand. World tilting. Russo knew something about Emma's death. And Marcus had just promised to become family with a man who might be connected to it. But Vincent was upstairs. Trusting. Needing. And Marcus couldn't walk away. Not from the boy. Not from the truth. Not anymore. The training started at 5:45 a.m. Carlo met Marcus in an underground gym beneath the Russo estate. The room smelled like sweat, steel, and violence. You're small, Carlo said. That's good. Makes you fast. But it also makes you a target. For 3 hours, Carlo taught him how to fight. Not boxing. Not sport. Real fighting, eyes, throat, groin, anything that stopped someone from hurting you or Vincent. Marcus's body screamed. His knuckles bled. But he learned. Why are you doing this? Marcus gasped during a water break. Because Mr. Russo ordered it. That's not what I'm asking. Carlo studied him. The boy smiles now. In 5 years, I never saw him smile. Then you showed up. He tossed Marcus a towel. Anyone who makes that kid smile is worth protecting. Day 3 of training, Carlo showed him photos. These are people who might come after you. 5 faces. All dangerous. All connected to Russo's competitors. Memorize them. If you see any of these men, you call me immediately. You don't engage. You run. Marcus studied the faces. Committed them to memory. Then Carlo showed him one more photo. A man in his 30s. Scar across his left eye. Cold smile. This is Anton Volkov. Russian. Ambitious. Wants Russo's territory. He's been asking questions about you. What kind of questions? Your background. Your connection to Vincent. How much you'd be worth as leverage. Marcus's stomach turned. You think he'd? I think he'd do anything to hurt Russo. And hurting people Russo cares about is the easiest way. Carlo put the photos away. So we make sure you're not easy to hurt. Week 2, Marcus noticed the car. Black sedan. Tinted windows. Parked across from the school where he worked. Same car he'd seen outside his apartment. He texted Carlo, I'm being followed. Response came immediately, we know. Don't engage. We're handling it. But the car stayed. Watching. Waiting. Marcus went about his day. Cleaned floors. Mopped hallways. Pretended he didn't feel eyes on him every second. At 3 p.m., he headed to the Russo estate. The car followed. Marcus's hands shook on the steering wheel. He wanted to call Vincent. Tell him not to worry. But Carlo had been clear. Never make contact when you're being followed. You lead them away from the boy, not toward him. So Marcus drove past the estate. Kept going. Led the car away. His phone buzzed. Carlo, pull into the garage on 5th and Main. Now. Marcus obeyed. The garage was empty. Dark. He parked and waited. The black sedan pulled in behind him. Marcus's heart hammered. He reached for his phone. The sedan's windows exploded. Glass shattered. Doors flew open. Men in suits appeared from nowhere, Russo's men. They dragged the driver out. Slammed him against concrete. Carlo appeared at Marcus's window. Stay in the car. Marcus watched through his rearview mirror as Carlo interrogated the driver. Harsh. Efficient. The driver tried to fight. Carlo broke his wrist in one motion. 5 minutes later, Carlo came back. Volkov's man. Trying to establish your routine. Where you work. Where you live. Where you go. What happens to him? He goes back to Volkov with a message, leave our people alone. What kind of message? Carlo showed Marcus his bloody knuckles. The permanent kind. That night, Vincent asked, are you okay? You seem different. They were in the game room. Chessboard between them. But Marcus couldn't focus. Just tired. You're lying again. Vincent moved his knight. Something happened. I can tell. Marcus looked at the boy. 8 years old. Too smart. Too aware. Someone's been following me. Vincent went very still. Who? Your father's taking care of it. Was it Volkov? Marcus blinked. How do you know about Volkov? I listen. I told you. I know more than people think. Vincent's voice was steady. Adult. Did they hurt you? No. But they wanted to know about us. About you. Vincent processed this. Because they want to hurt my father. Yes. And I'm how they hurt him. You're how they try. But they won't succeed. How do you know? Because your father is terrifying. And I'm not letting anyone touch you. Vincent smiled. Small. Sad. Everyone thinks they can protect me. But everyone leaves. I'm not everyone. You're still just one person. Against people like Volkov. Vincent moved his queen. Check. Marcus looked at the board. He'd been so distracted, he'd walked into another trap. You're doing it again, Vincent said. Paying attention to the wrong thing. What's the right thing? Surviving. That's all that matters in this world. Surviving and finding someone worth surviving for. Marcus captured Vincent's queen. Checkmate. Vincent stared at the board. I didn't see that coming. Neither did I. But sometimes you make moves because they're right, not because you see the whole picture. Vincent looked up at him. Is that what you're doing? Making moves without seeing the whole picture? Yes. Are you scared? Terrified. But you're staying. I promised. Vincent reached across the board. Took Marcus's hand. I'm sorry you're in danger because of me. I'm not sorry. For the first time in 3 years, I have a reason to be in danger. That means something. They sat there. Hands clasped across a chessboard. Two people who'd found each other in the wreckage. Outside, the black sedan was gone. But the threat wasn't. It was just getting started. Day after, Russo called Marcus into his office. Volkov knows about you now. He knows you matter to Vincent. That makes you a target. Carlo told me. Then you know what comes next. Russo slid a file across the desk. This is everything we have on Volkov. His operation. His people. His weaknesses. Marcus opened it. Photos. Documents. Details of a criminal empire that rivaled Russo's. Why are you showing me this? Because you need to understand the world you're in. Volkov doesn't just kill people. He makes them disappear. Makes them suffer. Makes them wish they'd never been born. You think he'd come after Vincent? I think he'd come after you. And he'd make Vincent watch. Marcus's blood ran cold. So what do? We make sure he never gets the chance. Russo closed the file. But there's something you should know. About your daughter. Marcus's heart stopped. What about her? Russo was quiet for a long moment. Then, the shooting. Cortlandt Avenue. 3 years ago. What about it? It wasn't random. The world tilted. What? The shooter was one of Volkov's men. He was targeting a rival gang member. Your daughter was collateral damage. Marcus couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. Volkov ordered it? No. But he employed the shooter. Protected him after. Made sure he disappeared before police could identify him. Who is he? Where is he? Russo met his eyes. Dead. I made sure of it. 2 years ago. When I found out what happened. Marcus stood. Walked to the window. Tried to process. Emma's death wasn't random. It was connected to this world. To Volkov. To everything Marcus had just walked into. Why didn't you tell me before? His voice was shaking. Because you weren't ready. And because I needed to know if you'd stay for Vincent. Not for revenge. And now? Now you're in too deep. Now you deserve the truth. Marcus turned. Did Vincent know? No. And he won't. Not unless you tell him. Why not? Because he loves you. And if he knew that my world killed your daughter, he'd think you're only here for revenge. That you're using him. I'm not. I know. But he's 8. And he's been abandoned by everyone. He won't understand nuance. Marcus's hands shook. He wanted to scream. To hit something. To find Volkov and tear him apart. But Vincent was upstairs. Trusting. Needing. What do I do? Marcus whispered. You decide what matters more. Revenge or redemption. I can't. Yes, you can. Because that's what being family means. Making impossible choices. They stared at each other. And Marcus understood. This wasn't just about protecting Vincent anymore. This was about choosing who he wanted to be. The man who destroyed everything for revenge. Or the man who saved one boy from the same darkness that took his daughter. That night, Marcus lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. Emma's face haunted him. Volkov's name burned in his mind. But Vincent's voice echoed, "You changed my life." At 2 a.m., his phone buzzed. Vincent, can't sleep. You there? Marcus, always. Vincent, thanks. Marcus, for what? Vincent, for staying. Even when it's hard. Marcus closed his eyes. Made his choice. Marcus, I'll always stay, Vincent. I promise. And this time, he meant it. Not for revenge. For redemption. Marcus found the office by accident. He'd been looking for Vincent. The boy was late for their chess game. The house was a maze, and Marcus still got lost in hallways that looked identical. He tried a door he'd never opened before. It was unlocked. Inside, filing cabinets, computers, maps of the city with zones marked in red, and photographs. Hundreds of them. Crime scenes, police reports, newspaper clippings. Marcus's hands shook as he sorted through them. This was Russo's war room. His command center. Evidence of everything he controlled, everything he'd done, everyone he'd destroyed. And then Marcus saw it. A file labeled Cortlandt Avenue, June 2022. His daughter's death. He opened it with trembling hands. Inside, police reports, crime scene photos, witness statements, and one photograph that made his blood turn to ice. Russo shaking hands with a man in a black jacket. In the background, the bodega where Emma died. Timestamp, 2 weeks before the shooting. The man in the jacket had a scar across his left eye. Anton Volkov. Marcus's vision blurred. His mind raced. Russo had lied. He said Volkov's man killed Emma. That it was collateral damage. That Russo had avenged her death 2 years ago. But this photo showed Russo and Volkov together. Before the shooting. Before Emma died. Marcus flipped through more files, found internal memos, transcripts of conversations. And there it was, proof. The shooting wasn't random. It wasn't even about gang territory. It was a message. Russo and Volkov had been partners. But Russo had tried to cut Volkov out of a deal. So Volkov sent his man to kill someone Russo cared about, a witness who was supposed to testify about one of Russo's operations. The witness was in the bodega. Emma was just collateral damage. But Russo had ordered the hit that drew Volkov's retaliation, which meant Russo was responsible. Not directly, but close enough. Marcus's hands shook so hard he dropped the files. Papers scattered across expensive floors. Everything he'd believed, everything Russo had told him, was a lie. Vincent's father hadn't avenged Emma's death. He'd caused it. Marcus. He spun around. Vincent stood in the doorway, still in his school uniform, chessboard in his hands. "What are you doing?" the boy asked. Marcus tried to speak. Couldn't. His throat was closed. Vincent's eyes went to the scattered files, to the photographs, to Marcus's face. "Oh no," Vincent whispered. "Did you know?" Marcus's voice was raw. "Know what?" "That your father's business killed my daughter." Vincent went white. The chessboard slipped from his hands. Pieces scattered across the floor. "No. What are you talking about?" Marcus held up the photograph. "Russo and Volkov. 2 weeks before Emma died. Your father and the man who killed my daughter. Partners." "That's not, he wouldn't." "He did. And he's been lying to me. To both of us." Vincent's eyes filled with tears. "I didn't know. I swear I didn't know." Marcus wanted to believe him. Wanted to see innocence in those 8-year-old eyes. But all he saw was Russo's son. "I need to leave," Marcus said. "No. Please. Let me explain." "Explain what?" "That your father is a murderer?" "I already figured that out." "He's not." "Yes, he is. And I was stupid enough to think I could be around him without it destroying me." Marcus pushed past Vincent. Into the hallway. Vincent grabbed his arm. "Please don't go. I need you. You're Dominic Russo's son. You don't need anyone." The words were cruel. Marcus knew it. But rage and grief blurred everything. Vincent's face crumpled. "You promised. You promised you'd stay." "I promised before I knew the truth." "The truth doesn't change who I am." "Yes, it does." Marcus yanked his arm free. "Your father killed my daughter. How am I supposed to look at you and not see that?" Vincent stepped back like he'd been hit. Tears spilled down his cheeks. "You're just like everyone else. You only pretended to care. That's not. You're leaving. Just like everyone leaves. Because I'm not worth staying for." "Vincent." But the boy was already running. Down the hallway. Up the stairs. Away. A door slammed. Marcus stood alone in the hallway, surrounded by expensive emptiness. What had he just done? He made it to his car before the guilt hit. Vincent's face. Those tears. That betrayal. "You're just like everyone else." Marcus's hands shook on the steering wheel. He'd sworn he'd never be the person who abandoned that boy. Never be another person who left when things got hard. But he'd just proven Vincent right. He'd left. Because revenge felt better than redemption. Because rage felt safer than love. Marcus pulled out his phone. Stared at Vincent's contact. He should call. Apologize. Explain. But explain what? That he'd been using the boy to feel human again? That every chess game was just a way to forget his own daughter? That Vincent had always been a replacement, not a person? No, that wasn't true. Vincent mattered. Really mattered. But so did Emma. And Marcus couldn't have both. His phone buzzed. Not Vincent. "Russo. We need to talk." Marcus's jaw clenched. "I have nothing to say to you." "Then listen. Because what you found in my office isn't the whole story. It's enough." "No, it's not. And if you walk away now, you'll spend the rest of your life thinking I killed your daughter." "But I didn't. You worked with Volkov. Before I knew what kind of man he was. Before the shooting. When I found out what happened, I cut ties. Started a war. That's why he's coming after me now. Because I made him pay." "You're lying." "Maybe. Or maybe you're scared that the truth is more complicated than you want it to be." Russo's voice was hard. Come back to the house. Look at the rest of the files. Then decide if you're going to abandon my son because of something I did. He's not my son, isn't he? The line went dead. Marcus sat in his car, hands shaking. He should drive away. Never come back. Let Russo's world swallow itself. But Vincent's voice echoed, you promised you'd stay. And Marcus had broken enough promises in his life. He went back. Russo was waiting in his office. The scattered files had been collected, organized. Sit, Russo said. Marcus sat. Russo slid another file across the desk. This is what you didn't see. Inside, more documents. Emails. Bank records. Proof that Russo had cut ties with Volkov 6 months before Emma's death. Proof that the shooting was Volkov's retaliation for being betrayed. Proof that Russo had spent 2 years hunting down everyone involved, not because of Emma, but because Volkov had crossed a line. Your daughter wasn't the first innocent casualty, Russo said quietly. Volkov killed a family of 4 to send me a message. 2 kids under 10. I couldn't let that stand. Marcus's chest ached. Why didn't you tell me this before? Because I needed to know if you'd stay for Vincent. Not for revenge. Not for gratitude. Just for him. And now? Now you know the truth. And you get to choose what you do with it. Marcus looked at the files. At the evidence of Russo's complicated morality. Did you know I was Emma's father when you met me? No. I learned that after you started coming around. And you didn't tell me. Because I was hoping you'd never find out. That you'd just keep being the one person who made my son smile. Why do you care? You're a crime lord. You could buy him anything. Because money doesn't buy what you gave him. Russo's voice cracked. Just slightly. You made him believe he was worth caring about. No amount of money does that. They sat in silence. Finally, Marcus asked, where is he? His room. Hasn't come out since you left. Is he okay? No. He thinks you abandoned him. Thinks he's not worth staying for. Thinks every person who ever cared about him was lying. Marcus closed his eyes. I was angry. I said things I didn't mean. I know. But he's 8. He doesn't understand nuance. He just knows you left. What do I do? You decide if you're going to be another person who failed him. Or if you're going to be the one person who stayed despite everything. Marcus stood. I'm going to him. He might not open the door. Then I'll wait until he does. Russo almost smiled. For what it's worth, I think my son chose well. Most people would have run and never looked back. I did run. But you came back. That's what matters. Marcus climbed the stairs. Walked to Vincent's room. The door was locked. He knocked. Vincent. It's me. Silence. I know you're angry. I would be too. I said terrible things. Things I didn't mean. Nothing. I'm not leaving. I'm going to sit right here until you're ready to talk. Marcus sat down against the door. Inside, he heard crying. Soft. Muffled. His heart broke. I lost my daughter 3 years ago, Marcus said quietly. And when I found out your father's world was connected to her death, I got angry. At him. At you. At myself for caring about you when I thought it betrayed her memory. He paused. Listened. Vincent's crying had stopped. But the truth is, you didn't betray her memory. You saved me from drowning in it. You reminded me that there are still kids worth showing up for. Worth fighting for. Worth choosing over revenge. The door unlocked. Slowly opened. Vincent stood there. Eyes red. Face streaked with tears. You really came back, he whispered. I promised. But you left. I did. And I'm sorry. I was scared and angry and I hurt you. That's not okay. Vincent wiped his eyes. Are you staying? For real this time. Marcus pulled him into a hug. Held on tight. Yes. For real this time. Vincent buried his face in Marcus's shoulder. I thought you were just like everyone else. I'm not. I'm the guy who's going to show up. Even when it's hard. Even when I mess up. I'm going to keep showing up. They stayed like that. In the doorway. 2 broken people holding on because letting go hurt worse. Finally, Vincent pulled back. Looked up at him. Do you hate my father? Marcus considered lying. Decided on truth. I don't know. But I know I don't hate you. And that matters more. Vincent nodded. Process this. Can we play chess? He asked quietly. Yeah, we can play chess. They walked back into Vincent's room, set up the board, played in silence. And slowly, piece by piece, move by move, they rebuilt what had broken. But outside Vincent's window, a black car watched. Waiting. Volkov wasn't done. And neither was the truth. The attack came at 3 a.m. Marcus woke to his phone buzzing. Carlo's voice, urgent. They're at your apartment. Get to the safe house. Now. Marcus was already moving. Grabbing clothes. Keys. The gun Carlo had made him keep in his nightstand. Who's at my apartment? Volkov's men. They're looking for leverage. Move. Marcus ran. He made it to the safe house, an apartment above a restaurant Russo owned. Carlo was waiting. Your apartment's been tossed. They know where you work, where you live, where you shop. Do they know about Vincent? They've always known about Vincent. Now they know you matter to him. That's different. Marcus's hands shook. What do they want? You. To prove to Russo that nobody he cares about is safe. Carlo handed him a phone. Call Vincent. Make sure he knows you're okay. Marcus dialed. It rang once before Vincent answered. Marcus. Panic in his voice. Dad said there was an attack. I'm okay. I'm safe. Where are you? Somewhere they can't find me. Are you coming back? Marcus looked at Carlo, who shook his head. Not yet. It's too dangerous. I don't care if it's dangerous. I need you here. Vincent. Please. I can't do this without you. Marcus closed his eyes. I'll be back as soon as it's safe. I promise. You keep promising. But people keep attacking us. I know. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. Just come back. The line went dead. Marcus looked at Carlo. How long do I have to hide? Until we find Volkov. Or until he makes a mistake. And if he doesn't? Then you learn to live in a cage. Just like Vincent. 2 days passed. Marcus stayed in the safe house. Carlo brought food. Updates. Bad news. Volkov had people everywhere. Watching. Waiting. Going back to Vincent meant leading them straight to the boy. Staying away meant breaking another promise. On day 3, Russo visited. You can't live like this, he said. What choice do I have? You let me handle Volkov. How? Russo's smile was cold. The permanent way. You mean kill him? I mean remove the threat. Marcus thought about it. About Volkov. About the man who'd ordered the hit that killed Emma. Part of him wanted it. Wanted Volkov dead. But another part, the part that had spent weeks with Vincent, knew that killing Volkov would just create more violence. More retaliation. More collateral damage. More MS. No, Marcus said. No, I didn't come back to Vincent just to become like you. I came back to be better. Russo studied him. You think you're better than me? I think I'm trying to be. And killing Volkov would make me exactly what I'm fighting against. Then what do you suggest? We give him what he wants. Russo's eyes narrowed. Explain. He wants to hurt you. Prove you're weak. So we show him I don't matter. You matter to Vincent. Everyone knows that. Then we make it look like I abandoned him. Like I chose safety over loyalty. Like I'm just another person who left. Vincent would believe that. It would destroy him. Only if we don't tell him the truth. Russo sat back. Considered this. You want to fake your own betrayal. I want to protect Vincent. If Volkov thinks I'm not loyal, if he thinks I'm just a coward who ran when things got dangerous, he'll lose interest. Move on to another target. And then I come back. When it's safe. When Volkov's attention is elsewhere. Russo was quiet for a long time. You'd let my son think you abandoned him. Again. If it keeps him safe. He'll hate you. Better than him being dead. Russo stood. Walked to the window. Looked out at the city he controlled. You're either the bravest man I've ever met, or the stupidest. Probably both. Russo turned. If we do this, if we make Volkov believe you're not a threat, you can't contact Vincent. Not until I say it's safe. That could be weeks. Months. Marcus's chest ached. I know. Can you handle that? I don't have a choice. Russo nodded slowly. Okay. We do this your way. But you need to sell it. Make it look real. How? You go back to the estate. You confront me. You accuse me of putting you in danger. You tell Vincent you can't be part of this world anymore. And then you leave. For good. Marcus's stomach turned. He'll believe it. That's the point. What if he doesn't recover? Then you come back and fix it. But right now, keeping him alive is more important than keeping him happy. Marcus knew Russo was right. But it didn't make it hurt less. That night, Marcus returned to the Russo estate. Vincent was in the game room, playing chess by himself. He looked up when Marcus entered. His face lit up. You're back. Yeah, I'm back. Vincent ran to him, hugged him tight. I thought you weren't coming. I need to talk to you. Vincent pulled back. Read Marcus's face. What's wrong? Marcus looked at the boy, at the trust in his eyes, at the hope he'd spent weeks building. And he shattered it. I can't do this anymore, Vincent. The hope flickered. Do what? This. Us. Your father's world. It's too dangerous. But you said? I know what I said. But they attacked my apartment. They're hunting me. Because of you. Because I got involved in something I should have stayed away from. Vincent's face went pale. You're leaving. I have to. No, you don't. We can protect you. My father can. Your father is the reason I'm in danger. Marcus forced anger into his voice. Made it sharp. I was invisible before I met you. Safe. Now I'm a target because I was stupid enough to care about Dominic Russo's son. Tears filled Vincent's eyes. You don't mean that. I do. This was a mistake. All of it. You promised. You promised you'd stay. I can't keep that promise. Not anymore. Vincent's tears spilled over. I need you. You don't need me. You have everything. Money, security, a father who controls the city. You'll be fine. I won't be fine. Everyone leaves. Then maybe you should stop making people care about you. The words hung there. Cruel. Deliberate. Designed to hurt. Vincent stepped back like he'd been slapped. I trusted you, he whispered. That was your mistake. Vincent's face crumpled. He turned and ran. Marcus stood there, alone in the game room. Chess pieces scattered on the board from Vincent's solo game. Russo appeared in the doorway. Convincing, he said quietly. Marcus's hands shook. Is he? Destroyed. Just like you planned. Russo's voice was hard. You better be right about this. Because if you're not, you just broke my son for nothing. I'm right. You better be. Russo left. Marcus stood alone in the empty room. He'd just destroyed the most important relationship in his life. To save it. And now all he could do was wait. And hope Vincent would forgive him. If he survived. Vincent stopped eating. Marcus knew because Carlo told him. 3 days without food. Barely drinking water. The kid's shutting down, Carlo said. Russo's worried. Let me talk to him. No. You made your choice. Now you live with it. Marcus lived with it in the safe house. Alone. Watching the hours tick by. Waiting for news that Volkov had moved on. Waiting for permission to go back. Waiting to fix what he'd broken. Day 5, Russo called. Vincent's in the hospital. Marcus's world stopped. What? Stress-induced shutdown. His body's giving up. The doctors say it's psychological. He's not fighting to live. I need to see him. You can't. Volkov has people watching the hospital. If you show up, you blow the whole plan. I don't care about the plan. Vincent is dying. And if Volkov gets to him, he'll die anyway. Permanently. Russo's voice cracked. You think I want this? You think I want to watch my son fade because the one person he trusted betrayed him? I didn't betray him. Yes, you did. That was the plan. And now he's dying because he believes it. Marcus couldn't breathe. What do I do? Nothing. You stay hidden. You let me handle it. How? I'm ending this. Tonight. Volkov wants a war. He's about to get one. The line went dead. Marcus sat in the empty apartment. Hands shaking. Vincent was dying. Because of him. Because he'd chosen the plan over the person. Because he'd thought he could protect someone by destroying them. He grabbed his coat. His keys. Carlo blocked the door. You leave, you die. Volkov's people are everywhere. I don't care. Vincent will. When you're dead and he's still alone. He's alone now because of me. And he'll be dead if you don't let Russo finish this. Marcus wanted to fight, to run, to do anything but wait. But Carlo was right. So he waited. The war lasted 6 hours. Marcus followed it through news reports, police scanners, frantic texts from Carlo, shootings across the city, Russo's men versus Volkov's men, a coordinated strike on every Volkov operation simultaneously. Clubs, warehouses, safe houses, all of them hit at once. At 3 a.m., Carlo texted, "It's done." Marcus called him. "What's done?" "Volkov's finished. His operations destroyed. His people are either dead or running." And Volkov. Russo gave him a choice. Leave the city permanently or die. He chose to leave. Marcus's chest loosened. "So it's over?" "For now. But Marcus, you need to get to the hospital." Vincent's not responding. The doctors say if he doesn't have a reason to fight, he won't make it through the night. Marcus ran. Through streets still smoking from the war. Past police tape and sirens. Past evidence of what Russo had done to protect his son. The hospital was across the city. Marcus drove 90 in a 50 zone. Ran red lights. Didn't care. Vincent was dying. And Marcus was the only one who could save him. He burst into the hospital at 4 a.m. Russo was in the waiting room. He looked older. Tired. "Where is he?" Marcus demanded. "Room 347. They're keeping him stable, but he's not fighting." Marcus headed for the elevator. Russo grabbed his arm. "If you walk in there and he doesn't wake up, if you're not enough to bring him back, I will never forgive you. I won't forgive myself either." He pulled free. Took the elevator to the 3rd floor. Found room 347. Inside, monitors. Machines. For lines. And Vincent. So small in the hospital bed. So pale. Eyes closed. Marcus pulled a chair to his bedside. Took his hand. "Vincent. It's me. It's Marcus." No response. Just the steady beep of monitors. "I know you're angry. I know you think I abandoned you. But I didn't. I was trying to protect you. Volkov was coming after us, and I thought if I made you hate me, he'd leave you alone." Still nothing. Marcus's voice broke. "I was wrong. I should have trusted you. Should have told you the truth. But I was scared. Scared of losing you the way I lost Emma. Scared that I'd ruin everything again." He squeezed Vincent's hand. "You asked me once why I came back. Why I kept showing up when everyone else left. I told you it was because you asked. But that wasn't the whole truth." Tears slid down Marcus's face. "The truth is you saved me. When Emma died, I stopped living. I just existed. Until you handed me $100 and asked me to show up. And I realized I had a choice. I could keep being invisible, or I could try to be real again." The monitors beeped. Vincent didn't move. "You made me real again, Vincent. You made me remember why I became a teacher. Why I wanted to help kids. Why I believed people could be better than their worst moments." Marcus wiped his eyes. "So please, please wake up. Please fight. Because I can't lose you. Not when I just found you." Silence. Then, Vincent's hand squeezed back. Marcus looked down. Vincent's eyes were open. Wet. Angry. "You left," Vincent whispered. "I know. You promised. I know. You hurt me. I know. And I'm so sorry." Vincent's tears spilled over. "Why did you come back?" "Because you matter more than anything. More than safety. More than revenge. More than my own fear." Vincent stared at him. "You promise." "I promise. And this time, I'm never breaking it. Even if it kills me." Vincent's face crumpled. He reached for Marcus. Marcus pulled him into a hug, held him while he cried, while 3 weeks of abandonment and pain poured out. "I thought you were like everyone else," Vincent sobbed. "I'm not. I'm the guy who's going to stay. No matter what. Even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard." They held on. In a hospital room. While morning light crept through the windows. Vincent pulled back. Looked at him. "Is Volkov gone?" "Yes." "Is it safe now?" "Safer. Can you come home?" Marcus's chest ached. "Is that what you want?" "Yes. I want you to come home." "Home." The Russo estate wasn't Marcus's home. It was a mansion belonging to a crime lord. But Vincent was there, which made it the only home that mattered. Okay, Marcus said. I'll come home. Vincent smiled. Small, fragile, but real. And for the first time in 6 days, Marcus breathed. Russo appeared in the doorway. Saw Vincent awake, crying, holding onto Marcus. Something passed across his face. Relief, gratitude, and something deeper, something that looked like envy. Because his son had chosen Marcus, not him. Russo nodded to Marcus. A small acknowledgement. Then he left them alone. And Marcus understood. Russo had given him the thing he valued most. Vincent's trust. Which meant Marcus owed him everything. And someday, somehow, Russo would collect. Vincent came home from the hospital after 3 days. Weaker. Quieter. But alive. Marcus moved into the Russo estate. Officially. His own room. His own space. But he spent most nights in Vincent's room. Playing chess. Reading. Talking. I'm sorry I scared you, Vincent said one night. I'm sorry I left. Are you really staying? Forever? Marcus looked at him. At this 8-year-old boy who'd survived more than most adults. Forever. Vincent smiled. Fell asleep holding Marcus's hand. And Marcus thought, maybe this is enough. Maybe we can just be okay now. He was wrong. 2 weeks later, FBI agents appeared at the estate. Russo met them in his office. Marcus and Vincent were in the hallway when they heard raised voices. Enough evidence. Tax evasion, racketeering. Turning yourself in. Vincent grabbed Marcus's arm. What's happening? Marcus didn't know. The FBI agents left 30 minutes later. Russo came out looking older. What did they want? Marcus asked. Russo looked at Vincent. Go to your room. No, Vincent said. I'm tired of being protected. Russo sighed. Nodded. They have evidence. Enough to charge me with multiple felonies. I'm looking at 20 years minimum. Vincent went pale. What? Someone gave them everything. Bank records. Communications. Proof of every illegal operation I run. Marcus's stomach dropped. Who? I don't know. But they gave me 24 hours. Turn myself in or they come with warrants and arrest me in front of Vincent. Vincent's voice shook. You're going to prison? Looks like it. For how long? Long enough that you'll be an adult when I get out. Vincent's tears started. No. No, you can't. Russo pulled him into a hug. I'm sorry, son. I tried to keep this from touching you. But I failed. They held each other. Father and son. Both broken by the life they'd been born into. Marcus stood apart. Watching. And realized the impossible truth. Russo was going to prison. Vincent would become a ward of the state. And everything Marcus had built would disappear. Unless. What if you cooperate? Marcus said. Russo looked at him. What? With the FBI. Give them everything. Names, locations, operations. In exchange for a lighter sentence. That's suicide. The people I'd testify against would kill me. And Vincent. Not if you get protection. Witness protection. Vincent pulled back. What's that? New identities. New city. New lives. Marcus looked at Russo. You disappear. Vincent disappears. You both start over. And lose everything, Russo said. Everything except each other. Russo was quiet. Processing. If I do that, if I testify and disappear, Vincent loses this house. His school. His entire life. But he keeps his father. Vincent looked between them. I don't understand. Marcus knelt down. Your father has 2 choices. Go to prison for 20 years. Or help the FBI and go into hiding with you. Hiding where? Somewhere safe. Somewhere people can't find you. Would you come? Marcus's chest tightened. Would you come? Vincent's voice was desperate. Marcus looked at Russo, who was watching, calculating. You're not family, Russo said quietly. Witness protection is for immediate family only. You can't come. Vincent's face crumpled. Then I'm not going. Vincent. I'm not going without Marcus. You don't have a choice. Yes, I do. I choose Marcus. Russo's jaw tightened. He looked at Marcus. Tell him. Tell me what? Vincent asked. Marcus took his hands. If your father goes to prison, you'll go into foster care. You'll lose everything. Your home. Your safety. Your father. But I'll have you. Maybe. If they let me foster you. But that's not guaranteed. Then we'll run. Just us. We can't run, Vincent. Your father's world will follow us. Then what do I do? Vincent's tears spilled over. How do I choose between you and my dad? Marcus pulled him close. You don't. You choose safety. You go with your father. You start over. Without you. Without me. Vincent sobbed into his shoulder. I don't want to lose you. I don't want to lose you either. Then why? Because you being safe matters more than me being happy. They held each other while Russo watched. Finally, Vincent pulled back. What if we make a deal? What kind of deal? Russo asked. Dad cooperates. We go into witness protection. But Marcus gets to know where we are. And when it's safe, he can come find us. That's not how it works, Russo said. Then make it work. Vincent's voice cracked. You're Dominic Russo. You make deals. Make this one. Russo looked at Marcus. You'd wait? Not knowing when or if you'd see him again. If it keeps him safe. Could be years. I waited 3 years after Emma died. I can wait for Vincent. Russo nodded slowly. Okay. I'll talk to the FBI. See what I can do. The deal took 48 hours to negotiate. Russo would testify. Give up everything. In exchange, witness protection for him and Vincent. And one exception. Marcus Webb would be given a way to contact them. Once every 6 months. One phone call. One conversation. Until the danger passed. Then, maybe, they could meet again. It wasn't enough. But it was everything they had. The night before they left, Marcus and Vincent played chess one last time. I'm going to miss this, Vincent said. Me too. Will you forget about me? Never. Promise? I promise. Vincent moved his queen. Checkmate. Marcus looked at the board. He'd been so focused on not crying, he'd missed the trap. You got me. I always get you. Vincent smiled. Sad. Because you pay attention to the wrong things. What should I be paying attention to? This. Vincent reached across the board. Took his hand. Us. Right now. This moment. Marcus squeezed back. I'm paying attention. Good. Because I need you to remember. When I'm gone. When you're alone again. I need you to remember that you matter. That you're not invisible. That somewhere, there's a kid who thinks you're the best person in the world. Marcus's vision blurred. You're the best person in my world too. Even though my dad's a criminal? Even though. They sat there. Hands clasped across the chessboard. Two people who'd found each other in the wreckage. Two people who'd chosen each other despite impossible odds. Two people who were about to lose everything. Again. The next morning, FBI agents arrived. Vincent packed one bag. Left everything else behind. Russo did the same. Marcus stood in the driveway. Watching. Vincent ran to him one last time. Hugged him tight. Don't forget me, he whispered. Never. Promise you'll wait. I promise. Even if it's years? Even if it's years. Vincent pulled back. Looked at him with Emma's eyes. I love you. Marcus's heart broke. I love you too. Vincent got into the car. Russo nodded at Marcus. A silent acknowledgement. Then they drove away. And Marcus was alone again. But this time, he had something he didn't have before. Hope. Because somewhere, Vincent was safe. And someday, somehow, they'd find each other again. Marcus looked at the empty estate. At the life he'd built and lost. Then he turned and walked away. Not invisible anymore. Just waiting. 11 months later, Marcus taught 5th grade English at Roosevelt Elementary. Different school. Different city. Same job. Because he'd remembered why he loved it. Because Vincent had reminded him. The phone calls came every 6 months. 15 minutes. Monitored. Limited. But enough. How are you? Marcus asked during the second call. Good. Dad's different now. Quieter. He actually talks to me. That's good. He says you saved us. By making the deal. You saved me first. Vincent laughed. It sounded older. More mature. I miss you. I miss you too. Are you still teaching? Yeah, 5th grade. Good. You're good at it. I learned from the best student. Silence. Then, they say it might be another year. Before it's safe. I'll wait. You always say that. I always mean it. Month 13, Marcus's phone rang. Unknown number. Hello, Mr. Webb? A woman's voice. Official. This is Agent Chan from the FBI. Vincent Russo's case has been resolved. All threats have been neutralized. The family is clear to resume contact. Marcus's heart stopped. What does that mean? It means you can see him. If you want. Where? She gave him an address. A city 3 states away. They'll be expecting you Saturday. 2 p.m. Marcus wrote it down with shaking hands. Thank you. Mr. Webb? Vincent talks about you constantly. In every interview, every check-in. You matter to that kid. Don't make him wait longer than necessary. I won't. Saturday. Marcus drove 12 hours. Stopped at a house in a quiet suburb. Small. Normal. Nothing like the Russo estate. He knocked. The door opened. Vincent stood there. Taller. 9 years old now. But the same eyes. You came, he whispered. I promised. Vincent launched himself into Marcus's arms. Held on tight. I knew you would. Dad said you might not. But I knew. Marcus held him. This boy he'd lost and found and lost again. This boy who'd chosen him. I'll always come, Vincent. Always. Russo appeared behind Vincent. He looked different. Older. Gray in his hair. Lines around his eyes. But when he saw Marcus, he smiled. Thank you, Russo said. For everything. Marcus nodded. Is it really over? Everyone who wanted us dead is either in prison or dead themselves. We're free. What now? Now we figure out how to be a family. Russo looked at Vincent. All of us. If you want. Marcus looked at Vincent. At Russo. At this impossible, broken, beautiful thing they'd built. Yeah, he said. I want that. Vincent's 9th birthday was different. 12 kids from his new school. Pizza. Games. Normal. But at 2 p.m., Vincent pulled Marcus aside. I have something for you. He handed Marcus a frame. Inside, the crumpled $100 bill. The first one. The one Vincent had offered in that hallway 13 months ago. I kept it, Vincent said. To remember the day everything changed. Marcus's throat tightened. This should be yours. It's ours. You can keep it until I'm 18. Then we'll decide what to do with it. Marcus hung it on the wall. In Vincent's room. Right above the chessboard. A reminder of the price of caring. Of showing up. Of choosing people over safety. That night, after the party, Marcus and Vincent and Russo sat on the porch. Make a wish, Marcus had said when Vincent blew out the candles earlier. Now, Vincent looked at him. I already got it. What was it? This. Us. All of us here. Safe. Russo put his arm around Vincent. We're not perfect. But we're here. That's enough, Vincent said. Marcus looked at them. This crime lord who'd given up everything. This boy who'd survived everything. And himself. A broken teacher who'd learned to live again. Yeah, Marcus said. It's enough. Years later, someone would ask Marcus what saved him. He wouldn't say it was time. Or therapy. Or moving on. He'd say, a boy with $100 and empty eyes who asked him to show up. And when Marcus showed up, they both learned something. That family isn't always blood. Sometimes it's choice. Sometimes it's the people you're willing to suffer for. The people you come back for. The people who make you human again. Vincent taught Marcus that. And Marcus taught Vincent something too. That when everyone else leaves, when the world is cruel and empty and broken, someone might still show up. If you ask. If you believe. If you're brave enough to hand someone $100 and hope they see you're worth more than money.